Greetings! Mantare79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alrighty, let's begin. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now, in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Brandt Gates, Blitz CEO Welstra, D-BT07. And alrighty, let's begin. So first, let's go to the selecting the deck, entering edit deck, and off we go. And here we are in the edit deck menu. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Brandt Gates, Blitz CEO Welstra deck, made up of cards only available up until D-BT07. And affirmative, let's first go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush of the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT04, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT05, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Promo Pack number 1, D-BT06, Blazing Dragon Reborn, and D-BT07, Raging Flame Against the Emerald Storm. Apply filter, and pack filter apply. And now let's get started. First, the deck's grade 3 lineup. And now for the deck's grade 3 lineup. For the grade 3s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, grade 3, Blitz CEO Welstra. Skills, first skill, auto as a Vanguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. Second skill, auto as a Vanguard. When you operate a product, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Welstra, it's the main grade 3 to ride in this deck. If its skill is the first skill, when attacking, you can then operate any product in the order zone and activate its operate ability. Thus, depending on what order cards you have in the order zone, you have a myriad of options available to help in your upcoming game strategy. And the second skill, when the second skill's condition is fulfilled, you can add power to your Vanguard Welstra. And the best part about the second skill, it's stackable. For if you're able to operate product cards in your order zone multiple times in a turn, you can continue stacking power into your Vanguard Welstra, giving you more power to make it easier to either to pressure or finish off your opponent with. And alright, the grade 3 Blitz CEO Welstra. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the grade 3 set order, product, mobile fortress of obliteration, Freischütz maximum. Skills, first skill, continuous, you cannot play this card. Second skill, auto, operate, auto from the order zone. When this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Choose one of your opponent's vanguards, and it gets minus 5,000 power until end of turn. Then cost, counterblast 1 and return a rear guard to hand. If the cost has been paid, call this card as a 23,000 power, 1 critical normal unit to an open rearguard circle. If you called a card, put that unit into the order zone at the end of your turn. So for Freischütz Maximum, it's one of the main product cards to be played in the Welstra deck. With its skill, the second skill, when operated, you can then have the chance to not only retire an opponent's rear guard, you can also weaken your opponent's vanguard by 5,000 power. And then, if you're able to pay for the cost, you can then superior call Freischütz Maximum from the order zone to the rear guard to serve as a powerful front row attacker to help you increase the number of attacks you can make that turn, giving you a better chance to either to pressure or finish off your opponent with. And okie dokie, the grade 3 set order, product, mobile fortress of obliteration, Freischütz Maximum. We have 4 in the deck, 3 in the deck, sorry about that. And next up, the grade 3 Blitz Top Sails and Rig. Skill, action as a rear guard. If you have a Vanguard of Welstra in this card name, cost, retire this unit. If the cost been paid, search your deck for up to 1. Search your deck or drop for up to 1 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz or Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischütz Maximum. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So for Anric, it's one of the support cards to play in the Welstra deck with its skill. By paying the cost, you can then search your deck or drop for either Freischütz or Freischütz Maximum to add to your hand to help in your later game strategy. And affirmative, the Grade 3 Blitz top sales Anric, we have 3 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 3 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 2 lineup. And now for the deck's Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 2, Blitz Technology Researcher Uber. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard, once per turn. Cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon. Cost, put a product from order zone into drop. If the cost is paid, search your deck or hand for up to 1 Grade 2 product card. Put into your order zone. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from your hand, draw a card. So for Uber, it's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. If the skill is the first skill, by paying the cost, you can choose to operate any one of the products in your order zone to activate its operate ability. So for this first skill, you have a multitude of choices depending on what kind of products you manage to deploy in your order zone by the time you use this skill. Depending on what products you use, you can use it for a number of different situations. And the second skill, when written on top of, by paying the cost, you can then search for any Grade 2 product from your hand or drop and secure it to your order zone, giving you another product in your order zone to make use of in your later game strategy. And alrighty, the Grade 2 Blitz Technology Researcher Uber, we have 1 in the Ride deck. Next up, the Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo. Skills, first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard, if you did not operate a product this turn, cost, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. And the second skill, Continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if you operate a product this turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Hofleo, it's a support card for the Welstra deck with its skill, the first skill. When called into the rear guard, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can then operate any product from your order zone to use its operate ability. Thus, depending on what product cards are in your order zone, you have a multitude of choices to help you in different situations, depending on your personal playstyle and deck build, giving you better advantages to use against your opponent. And the second skill, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, you can then turn your Hofleo into a potential 13,000 point attacker for your front row. And okie dokie, the Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo, we have 2 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio. Skill, Auto as a rear guard. When you operate Mobile Fortress of Obliteration, Freischütz Maximum, if you did not countercharge this turn, cost, Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, countercharge 1. So for Sadio, another support card for the Welstra deck with its skill. When the conditions of its skill are met and you pay the cost, you can then refund your counterblast for later skills. And affirmative, the Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio, we have 3 in the deck. And next up, the Grade 2 Set Order Product Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz. Skills, first skill, Order. After a set order is played, put into your order zone. Second skill, Auto. Operate from the order zone. When this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, choose one of your opponent's vanguards, and it gets minus 5,000 power until end of turn. Third skill, Auto. Auto from the order zone. When your Grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed by riding from Grade 3, cost, put this card into your drop. If the cost is paid, search your deck or hands for up to 1 Mobile Fortress Obliteration Freischütz Maximum. Put it into your order zone. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from your hand, draw a card. So for Freischütz, it's one of the main product cards to play in your Welstra deck with its skill, the second skill. When operated, you have the chance to not only retire an opponent's rear guard, but as long as the conditions of the skill are met, you can instead weaken your opponent's vanguard by 5,000 power. And the third skill, by riding from Grade 3 to Grade 3 by paying the cost, you can then retire your Freischütz to secure it from your deck or hand, a Freischütz Maximum, giving you a more powerful order card in your order zone to make use of in your later game strategy. And confirm the Grade 2 Set Order Product Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz. We have 3 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Grade 1 lineup. And now for the deck's Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck Grade 1 Blitz Programmer Strazer. Skill Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, search your deck or hand for up to one Grade 1 product card. Put it into your order zone. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. If you put a card from your hand, draw a card. So for Strazer, he's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. If it's skill, when written on top of, you can secure from your hand or deck a Grade 1 product card to place into your order zone, giving you a product in your order zone to make use of in your later game strategy. And alright, the Grade 1 Blitz Programmer Strazer, we have one in the Ride deck. Next up, the Grade 1 Detonation Monster Bubble Mine. Skill Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If your order zone has a set order, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost been paid, countercharge 1. So for Bubble Mine, a pretty powerful card to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks if it's skill. After boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you meet the conditions of the skill and pay the cost, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but you can also refund your Counter Blast for later skills. And okay, the Grade 1 Detonation Monster Bubble Mine, we have two in a deck. Next up, the Grade 1 Planet Wall Dragon Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Planet Wall Dragon, it's a perfect guard for the Brandt Gate Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and ability and activation. When used to guard with and discarding 1 card from hand, you can block an enemy attack. But it also features an ability unique to all D-standard former perfect guards. When used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Planet Wall Dragon a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate, last resort situations. And affirmative, the Grade 1 Planet Wall Dragon, we have 3 in the deck. And next up, the Grade 1 Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Continuous. You may only have 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Play this at a cost of, discard a card from your hand. If your Vanguard is Grade 3 or less. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When played and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block an enemy attack. But it also features but mainly Elementaria Sanctitude is a Perfect Guard that works best against opponents who play decks that specialize in having a Vanguard with triple drive. For example, Grade 4s, G units, or Vanguards who have their drive checks increased by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, your Elementaria Sanctitude then can serve as a potential no-cost Perfect Guard. And confirm, the Grade 1 Blitz Order Elementaria Sanctitude, we have 1 in the deck. And next up, the Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Iskra. Skill, action as a rear guard. If you did not operate a product this turn, cost, Counterblast 1 and rest this unit. If the cost is paid, choose a product from your order zone and operate it. Activate its operate ability. So for Iskra, another support card for the Welstra deck for skill. As long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can then choose any product from your order zone and use its operate ability, thus giving you a multitude of different potential uses, and depending on what product cards you have in your order zone, giving you a chance to either have a better advantage against your opponent or to help you get out of most circumstances. And alrighty, the Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Iskra, we have 2 in a deck. And next, the Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Start. Skill, action as a rear guard. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, cost, Counterblast 1 and put a heavy strike cannon fortress Freischütz from your order zone into drop and retire this unit. If the cost is paid, choose up to 1 mobile fortress of obliteration Freischütz maximum from your hand and put it to the order zone. So for start, another support card for the Welstra deck with skill. As long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can then secure a Flashlights Maximum from your hand to place into the order zone, giving you a powerful order card to make use of in your upcoming game strategy. And okie dokie, the Great 1 Blitz mechanic start. We have 3 in the deck. And next up, the Great 1 Blitz set order product Incandescent Flame Cannon Apostle. Skills, first skill, order. After a set order is played, put it into your order zone. Second skill, auto, operate, auto from the order zone. When this card is operated, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, draw a card, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Apostle, it's another one of the main product cards to play in your Welstra deck. With its skill, the second skill, when operated, you have the chance to either to retire an opponent's rear guard or to drop and draw a card from your hand, making it easier to either to clear your opponent's field to make it give you a better advantage, or to simply make it easier to draw the cards you need to help in your later game strategy. And affirmative, the Great 1 set order product Incandescent Flame Cannon Apostle. We have 2 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's Great 1 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Great 0 lineup. And now, for the deck's Great 0 lineup. For the Great Zeros in this deck, we are playing Right Deck Great 0, Blitz Mechanic Wharton. Skill, auto, when this unit is rode upon. If you went second, draw a card. So for Wharton, it's the starting unit of this deck. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, it features the same skill and activation. When written on top of, if you're the second to go in the game, draw 1 card. And alright, the Great 0 Blitz Mechanic Wharton starting unit, we have 1 in the right deck. And with that, we've finished covering the deck's Great 0 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's Trigger lineup. And now, for the Trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing Great 0, Star Dragon, Deity of Infinitude, Elder Breath, Overtrigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. Double the power and critical of all of your front row units until end of turn. Increase to double its power and critical when activated. So for Elder Breath, it's the Overtrigger for the Brandt Gate Nation. Like any other Overtrigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw 1 card. But it also features an ability unique to it alone. Its skill, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, you can then double the power and critical of all front row units, Vanguard and Rearguard included, thus giving you a huge boost in power to make it easier to finish off or at least pressure your opponent with the increased power and critical this trigger provides. And alright, the Great 0, Star Dragon, Deity of Infinitude, Elder Breath, Overtrigger, we have 1 in the deck. Next up, the Great 0, Patrol Robo, Decker Cop, Critical Trigger. Skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Decker Cop, it's a powerful critical trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with its skill. After boosting an attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Decker Cop from your rear guard into your soul, not only do you get to build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but you can also give one of the remaining attackers in your field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. And okie dokie, the Great 0 Patrol Robo Decker Cop Critical Trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great 0 Aurora Battle Princess Lurus Yellow Critical Trigger, we have 3 in the deck. And next, the Great 0 Amaluric Connector Draw Trigger, skill continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Amaluric, a powerful draw trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, you can then turn your Amaluric Connector into a potential 10,000 point shield on its own. And affirmative, the Great 0 Amaluric Connector Draw Trigger, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great 0 Lady Healer of the Creaking World Heal Trigger. Skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is its second attack this turn or more. So for Lady Healer, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks. Your skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, you can then turn your Lady Healer the Creaking Whirl into a potential 25,000 point shield on their own. Ideally, Lady Healer is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing the number of attacks they make by restanding either their Vanguard or Rearguard. Against such opponents, Lady Healer is a powerful counter heal to use against them. And okay, the Grade 0 Lady Healer the Creaking Whirl heal trigger, we have 2 in the deck. And next, the Grade 0 Whistling Arrow of Recursion Alphafold heal trigger, skill auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Alphafold, it's another powerful heal trigger to play in your Brandt Gate Nation decks with skill. When used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, Alphafold then can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on its own. Ideally, Alphafold is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in increasing their unit's critical, Vanguard or Rearguard by skill or card effect. Against such opponents, Alphafold can then serve as a very powerful defender against such opponents. And alright, the Grade 0 Whistling Arrow of Recursion Alphafold, we have 2 in the deck. And if that, the trigger lineup is done. And with that, the deck's been built. Card effects explained. For the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 3 Blitz CEO Welstra, 3 Grade 3 Mobile Fortress of Obliteration Freischütz Maximum, 3 Grade 3 Blitz Top Sails Anric, 2 Grade 2 Blitz Engineer Hofleo, 3 Grade 2 Blitz Accounting Department Head Sadio, 1 Grade 2 Blitz Technology Researcher Uber, 3 Grade 2 Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischütz, 2 Grade 2 Detonation Monster Bubble Mine, 3 Grade 1 Planet Wall Dragon, 1 Grade 1 Elementaria Sanctitude, 2 Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Iskra, 3 Grade 1 Blitz Mechanic Start, 1 Grade 1 Blitz Programmer Strazer, 2 Grade 1 Incandescent Flame Cannon Apostle, and 1 Grade 0 Blitz Mechanic Wharton starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1 Overtrigger Elder Breath, 7 Critical Triggers, 4 Draw Triggers, and 4 Heal Triggers. And of that, the deck's been built, card effects explained. Before we set out, let's first change the deck sleeves. For the sleeves in this deck we are playing, let's see. Alright, for the right deck sleeve, gonna use this white Vanguard Circle sleeve as the right deck sleeve. There we go. And for the main deck sleeves, we're gonna be using this, let's see. Alright, gonna use this Brandt Gate Nation flag sleeve as the main deck sleeve. Pressing main deck sleeve, there we go. And alright. The deck has been built, card effects explained, card sleeves changed. Next, let's get on to testing out the deck. And here we are, back in the main menu. We're going to go test out the deck, so let's head over to the fight menu. Selecting CPU fight. Selecting the deck I just displayed, the Brandt Gates Blitz CEO Welstra D-BT07 deck. And alright, selecting the deck. And going to choose my opponent. Let's see, for the opponent, I'm gonna test it out on. I'll use it against, here we go, Masaru Kita, normal difficulty, and click. And the battle begins. Let's get started. And we've arrived at the fight, deciding who goes first, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to paper to rock, I win, going first. Drawing our starting hands, I got myself a perfect guard, Anric, heal trigger, Apostle, and a Meloric Connector. Alright, I'm gonna hold on to Anric, gonna redraw everything else. Redraw! Alright, and let's see. Anric, Critical, 2 Sadio, and Apostle. My turn, draw. Alright, I ride from the right deck, Blitz Programmer Strazer. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 critical trigger. Discard and ride, Strazer. End of turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. My opponent rides to the grade 1, Deep Sonicer. Skill to start a unit, draw 1 card. Sonicer skill, Soul Charge. He Soul Charged a... Yes! Critical trigger out of the deck. Lucky me. Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard. Gonna take it. Here it comes. Ah, heal trigger. Well, at least he can't make use of that trigger in this situation, so... Here it comes. 1 damage out. Damage check. Nah, start. I needed that card. Come on. Alright. End of my opponent's turn. My turn. Stand and draw. I drew an Iskra. I ride from the right deck, Blitz Technology Researcher Uber. For the right deck cost, I discard Apostle, discard, and ride Uber. Strazer skill, search my deck or hand for a grade 1 product. From my deck, I deploy Incandescent Flame Cannon Apostle to the Order Zone. Next, I'm going to call Sadio to the rear guard and activate my, let's see, gonna call Iskra to the back row, activating Iskra skill, Counterblast, and rest. I'm gonna operate from my Order Zone Apostle. Nothing to retire, but I can draw and drop. Here we go. Draw, and I drew a perfect guard, pretty good. I'm dropping Freischutz. One more time, activate Uber skill. Soul Blast 1, and Soul Blast. I operate Apostle. Nothing to retire, so I draw and drop. Here we go. I draw. Ah, critical trigger, come on. Fine, then I'm just gonna... this is a tough choice. I think I'm gonna discard the critical and call Sadio to the front row. Call. That should be enough for my main phase. Go to battle phase. First, Sadio on the right attacks the Vanguard, 10k. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, 1 damage. Damage check. Ah, lucky for my opponent, draw trigger. Ah, now I gotta rely on the trigger to land more attacks. Fine, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 10k, 1 trigger to pass. Damn, drive check. Hofleo, so the attack fails and my other attacks can't go through now. Fine, that's the end of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. Here we go, he rides the grade 2. Electro Spartan, calling the grade 2 Selfish Engraver and Spartan. Alright, I can't afford to let Engraver go through since he can Soul Charge when it hits, so I intercept with Sordio. Intercept, 15k, the attack is blocked. And... Tachink, safe. Next, here comes the Vanguard, 10k to 10k. No guard, gonna take it. And drive check. No trigger, Electro Spartan, safe, so 1 damage. Here we go. Ow, damage check. Ah, Welstra, come on, they lost the Persona, right? And 10k to 10k. I can't afford to lose any more cards, so gotta take it. No guard. And here it comes. Ow, damage check. Yes, draw trigger, finally. I draw. Another Hofleo, power to Vanguard. That was rough. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Ah, critical, come on. Fine, I ride from the right deck. Then discarding for the right deck cost, 1 Hofleo. And here we go. Ride, Blitz CEO Welstra. Skill of Uber. I retire Apostle from my Order Zone, and in its place, I secure from my deck Heavy Strike Cannon Fortress Freischutz, deploying to the Order Zone. Next, I call Blitz Engineer Hofleo to the rear guard. Call! Hofleo skill. Counterblast 1, Counterblast, and Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast. I operate Freischutz. And retiring, there we go, Freischutz skill. I retire from the rear guard, Selfish Engraver. And Hofleo powers up. Welstra skill, he also powers up. Next, I call to the rear guard, Blitz Top Sails, Anrig. Call. Enric skill. Self-retreat. Search my deck or drop for Freischütz or Freischütz maximum. I search my deck for Freischütz maximum. There we go. And that should do it. So, ending the main phase, going to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard. No, hold on. First up, my rear guard Sadio attacks the rear guard Spartan. 10k to 10k. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang. One less rear guard to worry about. Now, boosted by Iskra, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 26k. And then gonna activate Welstra's skill, Operate. I operate from the order zone, Freischütz. Nothing to retire, so weaken my opponent's Vanguard by 5,000. Vanguard skill plus 5,000 power, 31,000 power to my opponent. The attack goes through, Twin Drive, first check. Yes, heal trigger. I heal 1 point of damage, healing, and I power up my Haflio. There we go. Power up. And the second check. Come on, something good. Another maximum, huh? And 1 damage. Boom. Damage check. No trigger. Order card. Safe. Now Haflio attacks the Vanguard. 23k. The attack goes through. And bang, bang, bang. 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger. Engraver. 1 less card to worry about. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. And my opponent rides the Grade 3 Barrel Magnus. Skill Spartan, he soul charges. Yes, another critical out of the deck. Lucky. He calls 2 and plays an order card, Supernatural Extraction, soul charging more cards. Yes, critical, perfect guard, and critical. Alright, Lucky, more good cards out of his deck. Spartan skill, he soul charges more. Yeah, another draw trigger out. So now he has 10 cards in soul, he can add a critical to his Vanguard, and I have no... So I'm gonna let this attack go through and block his Vanguard. No guard! Here it comes! Ow! Damage check! Critical trigger! Nice! I give all effects to Haflio! Here you go, Haflio, you're welcome! Power it up. And save. Now, here comes Barrel Magnus' skill. Counter Blast, he draws and adds power and critical to his Vanguard. I can't afford to let that one go through, so Perfect Guard with Planet Wall Dragon, Perfect Guard. For the Perfect Guard cost, I discard Freischütz Maximum, discard. Perfect Guard activated. The Twin Drive, first check. No trigger. And second check. No trigger, Engraver, so the attack is blocked. Ka-chink, safe. And my opponent cannot make any more attacks, so end of their turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Another heal trigger, come on. I can't bring out Freischütz Maximum. Fine, I guess I'll just go straight to the battle phase. Skipping main phase. And here we go. Sadio attacks the rear guard Spartan. The attack goes through, and bang bang bang, 1 less rear guard to worry about. Now boosted by Iskra, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 21,000. And then, Welstra skill, Operate. I operate Freischütz. Freischütz skill, retiring the front row unit. And power up my Vanguard. 26,000 power. The attack goes through, Twin Drive, first check. Yes, critical trigger. Critical to the Vanguard. Power to Haflio. Critical up. And power up. Looking good. Second check. Come on, something good. Yes, double critical. Critical to my Vanguard again. Power to Haflio. That's 3 damage to the opponent. And boom, 3 damage. First. Heal trigger, he got lucky. Now he survived the attack. Healing 1 and powering up. Not good for me. Second check. No trigger, order card, safe. And third check. No trigger, safe. I can still have a chance to win this game. Now, Haflio attacks the Vanguard, 33k. And he guards him a critical. The attack fails. And that's it for my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. Here we go. He's going to call Engraver and Curtis. Curtis' skill, Soul Charging. Persona Ride and Critical out of the deck. Curtis' skill, Counterblast, power to the front row. This is gonna be rough. Rear guard to Vanguard. Let's see, I have the cards to block the Vanguard and Engraver, so no guard gonna take this attack. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. Ah, nothing. Vanguard to Vanguard. Skill of his Vanguard. Counterblasting and plus power and critical to Vanguard. Alright. Then I'm gonna use the Whistling Arrow Recursion Avafold. Guard. Avafold skill. Plus 15,000 shield. That's 438,000. I guard the critical trigger. Loris Yellow. Guard. 53k. That's an over trigger to pass. Twin Drive. First check. No trigger. Perfect guard. Ah, lucky him. Second check. No trigger. Ah, Persona Ride. He'll have more power next turn. Ka-chink. Now one final attack from Engraver. That's a total of 23k. Alright, I guard the critical trigger, Decker Cop. Guard, 28k. And ka-chink. Safe. That's the end of my opponent's turn. Now it's my turn. Stand and draw. Ah, no perfect, no Welstras or starts. I can't bring out Fractious Maximum again. Ah, I can't make use of this deck's full power in this fight. Fine, whatever. Skipping right phase, going to main phase. I activate Iskra skill. Counterblast 1, Counterblast and Self-Rest. I operate from my Order Zone, Fractious. And I'm going to retire from my opponent's rear guard. His rear guard Engraver. One rear guard down, one less to worry about. And then Welstra skill plus 5,000 power. Then I call to the rear guard Decker Cop. That should do it. Now on to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Skill of Welstra. Operate. Operating Fractious and retiring a front row rear guard. Retiring Curtis. Plus 5,000 power to the Vanguard. Looking good. And Perfect Guard, I knew that was coming. He discards for the Perfect Guard, costs a Grade 2 Kigra. Twin Drive, first check. Ah, now start comes this late in the game. Second check. Alright, over trigger, I still have a chance. I give 100 million power to my rear guard Hofleo. And double power and critical the entire front row. I only now get start. Fine, whatever, I can still win the game here in this turn. So the attack fails, but now, go Hofleo. 200 million power to the Vanguard, 2 criticals. The attack goes through, bang bang bang, damage check. No trigger, 6 damage, I win. Well, that was an okay-ish fight. Despite not being able to use the deck's full power, I still got to use the cards in it pretty well and managed to eke out a win. So I got win, double critical, double trigger, attack 100,000 more power, perfect guard it, drew an over trigger, 8 turns passed, retired 5 for opposing units, and drew 3 more times in one turn. I got 3,000 BP, total 14,675 BP, pressing A to go next, leaving fight, returning to fight menu. And here we are in the fight menu, leaving fight menu, and going back to the main menu. Main menu to the edit deck menu. With that, the deck's been built, card effects explained, and that I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and see you.